Hi, Michael. We were on the
Where are we
14th.
now?
We're at the airport right now, going over to the Galapagos Islands on our first swing through the islands from Quito.
And right
We're at the
now,
Quito Airport,
it's 9:07
and we
in the
just
morning.
checked in with our baggage, and we're on the way to the first island.
Yeah.
And I'm here. I'm here with Rolf. Peter. I'm here with Peter and Paul. Peter, Paul, and I'm married. No. Yes,
Say
Peter.
hello, Peter.
Yes, Paul. Hi, Peter. Peter is from Switzerland. A geologist who was on the trip and came all the way from Switzerland with his beautiful wife.
Okay, and Paul. Say hello, Paul.
Hola, buenos dias.
And Paul is from England.
Spain.
Spain?
Yeah.
Español.
But you're from the United Kingdom. Oh, he's joking around. I always thought he had an English accent. No, I couldn't. Now it's Spanish. I got to pick up on my Spanish. I thought it was the English I had to pick up on.
No,
All right.
it's all English.
Behind me, we got Dale and Beth. Say hello, Dale.
Hello, Dale.
Hello, Dale. Say hello, Beth.
Hi.
I finally got the name right, huh? Okay. All right.
And Michael is doing the video, and we
Okay, so go ahead.
So you want me to talk
Yeah,
about
no, I
what we
want you to tell
learned about? Because
what we did yesterday. I want Jerry Rosenbluth's interpretation of what we did yesterday.
well, we traipsed
All right, go ahead.
by bus
Yes.
through Quito. We started right outside our hotel,
Colonial Quito.
the Studel Hotel. We were at Studel Hotel. We saw the Cordilleras Mountains to the north, and we found out our tour guide.
Our tour guide said that we weren't staying on the top of a volcano.
No, we were in a plateau. I made a mistake. I thought we were on the top of a volcano. It was a plateau, but we were surrounded by mountains.
Yes.
Even though we were on a high plateau. I think we were about a mile to two up in the air. Anyway, the Cordilleras
Up in the air? You mean up in the ground?
Up from sea level.
I thought we were on the ground, up in the air, huh? Okay.
No,
Yeah.
2,778 meters.
See, this guy knows what
You
he's
see,
talking
he
about.
knows, which is how
That's
many
why
feet.
he's here.
Figure it out.
It's about 1,500 feet.
Times 3.3.
Oh, times 3. It's about 6,000
16,000.
kilometers, right?
It wasn't a mile and a half.
7,200 kilometers, which would make it about 7,000 feet. 7,000 feet.
Okay. Not 7,000
Give or take.
feet.
Give
Give
or
or take a couple of 100,000.
Give a couple. Okay. Go ahead.
Anyway, we found out that there was a civilization that was in existence from 2500 BC to 500 AD that lived there.
Were they Christian?
No, they lived in the plateau
They couldn't
around
be
North
Christian
Quito.
because it was BC, right?
It was in northern Quito. We were in northern Quito.
Right.
And they were called the Pincheiros. Pincheiros, that's what's that tour guide's name?
Nicole.
Nicole told us. The Incas arrived only around 1470 AD, only 300 years before Columbus. They were in Peru. They were in
When
Peru.
did they arrive?
They arrived in Ecuador
In Ecuador when?
at 1470 AD.
1470, so when did Columbus sail the ocean blue?
22 years later.
Okay, so you just said a few hundred years, no?
No, I said the Incas had been around earlier in Peru, and they were moved north to Ecuador much later, and they conquered the Pincheiro Indians and the people that inherited from the Pincheiros, who came but later. And they conquered it by language and by war. Quito became the capital.
How did they conquer it by language? They said, we're going to take...
They schmaltzed.
I thought they cursed them.
They schmaltzed.
They out-cursed them,
They knew how to they knew how to schmaltz.
Okay.
They were the first
I think they outranked them, like my mother's, your mother,
You know the internet? They use the internet to take over.
That's how they do it. Okay. So anyway, the Incas...
And then they threw the internet
The
away.
Incas took over the Pincheiros.
The Pincheiros. And Quito is there between the coast and the Amazon. It's not on the Amazon. It's right near the Amazon. It's in between. The Incas never went into the Amazon. The Spanish arrived in the early 1500s, and they killed the Inca.
You know why they didn't go into the Amazon? because that's where Wonder Woman lived. Right?
Right.
Didn't Wonder Woman come from the Amazon?
Right, they were afraid
Wonder
of it.
Woman, you don't know? Okay.
Well, in their quest for gold, Dorado,
Right, Dorado, yeah.
they killed the Inca king, and there are hills called the Pinedas that were also in the south, and they took over, and the Spanish did, and the Incas were killed.
The Incas were
Well,
killed?
they killed the king, and they dominated.
Right. They were supposed to make a pact with the king, but what they did is they got him to a room and they killed him and they took all his gold.
And then Francis Carolanus, his statue, was behind the hotel. He went into the Amazon in the 17th century looking for gold.
Okay. All right. So he never found the gold.
Never found Dorado.
He was looking for the
lost
city, the mythical city of gold, right?
Right.
But he
Now,
never
Quito
found it.
is unique because it's surrounded by mountains on the equator. And,
Wait, there's no other country in the world that's surrounded by mountains?
I don't know that, but in South America, that's about it.
There's other countries that are surrounded by
Mountains that are on the equator.
Well, okay.
So it's very hot on the equator, except when you get up high in the mountains. So it was a nice place to stay. It's only about 80 degrees in there.
We weren't hot at all, right? Yesterday was a beautiful day.
And
In fact, the warmest it ever gets is 81 degrees.
There is no gold there, by the way. They only found obsidian. Obsidian is the valuable thing there. And the mountain erupted, the Pachino Mountain that we were at, erupted in 1990. The last time it had erupted was in 1660, 300 years before that. So they were pretty surprised about that. And that volcano is 600 miles away. 2 million people live in Quito. There's a Catholic university. Quito is 40 kilometers north to south, 7 kilometers east to west. It's a very large city, but it isn't very wide. And
It's only 7 miles wide.
no, 7 kilometers east.
7 kilometers wide. Okay. Do you agree with that, Paul?
Well, that's what she said. I don't know if it's true.
7 miles
I'm taking her
wide,
word
sure,
for it.
yeah, okay.
I'm taking this guy's
Okay.
word. Now, you want to know about the history?
Yes.
Well,
I thought you gave us the history lesson.
there was also a dry season and a rainy season. We're right in the middle of the rainy
That's
season.
the history. Okay. No, we're not
Two or
in the
three-
middle of it. We're near the end of it.
No,
We're
the beginning of it.
The beginning of it. But we're not
But
even
they
in the
say
middle
so
of it.
far it's been the driest in 40 years.
Okay.
40 years. And last year, though, it rained all the time. And Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador got together and got their independence from Spain in 1822. And in 1830, Ecuador separated from Venezuela and Colombia. And they called them the Central Colony, El Central Colonia. The churches were very important.
Sit down, Nicole.
Now you got to help me out here.
Nicole,
Oh, no,
this is the history of what we had from yesterday. Go ahead. You
I
gotta
wrote
listen
this
to
down, and I'm
Go
trying
ahead.
to because
Go
I'm
ahead.
never going to remember
This
it.
is Nicole, our beautiful tour
Oh,
guide.
Nicole is that tour guide, and she's the lady that is corrupting me with all these facts, and I don't know if they're true or not.
You got to listen to these facts as Jerry hears
No,
them.
no.
Go ahead, continue.
She said that in 1920 the population was very, they moved into the farms. They were
No, they moved into the
city. They moved into the city, and the people that were living near there had to leave, or didn't have to leave, but wanted to leave. The rich people moved out. Some of them moved out into the further away
Farther away to the country houses.
country houses. So there was a
Because what happened, remember, the cocoa bean. Our economy was based on the cocoa bean.
The cocoa bean.
And the cocoa bean went,
Went
because
down.
the price went down, and
Okay.
the farmers couldn't make a living.
But, Nicole, you got to listen to Jerry's story.
farmers
Go ahead.
couldn't make a living, so they moved into the city.
Okay.
And as a result, the rich people
But what?
felt that they were being displaced by these poor people that were coming in and were trying to find a way of making a living.
But
on the
Jerry,
farm.
what about Juan Valdez?
Who's Juan
Couldn't he help
Valdez?
that? You don't know Juan Valdez from the coffee and everything from
that's
Ecuador?
Colombian coffee.
Oh, that's Colombia. Okay, I see. Juan Valdez.